Hey everyone, this is Kelsey. This is Essentially Book. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel tonight. And the lighting's a little off today because my ring light has decided to not work and I'm filming late. So I am sorry about that. But today I'm going to talk about my anticipated releases for July, August, and September. I don't have a ton. I don't know if it's just a combination of me not really requesting a lot of books on NetGalley because I've gotten so many books, and there's so many books on my shelves. And again, I'm trying to be so much more mindful of what I'm reading that's from my shelf versus new releases. I mean, it is what it is. I'd say I'm still 50% new releases, 50% what I own, but there's not as many for my anticipated releases, but there are still some that are very highly anticipated. Fun fact, my content planner is done at the end of this month, so I need to buy a new planner so that I can keep planning YouTube stuff. So first, hold on. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted my beer. It's Mountain Standard IPA from Odell Brewing. I just got back from Fort Collins for a family vacation. This is my favorite brewing company that we went to. It was the most fun experience. Fort Collins has so much good beer and I love craft beer, so super fun. Anyways, we will get started with the books that I am excited for in July. God, it's so good. So good. All right, so in July, there are 10 books that I'm looking forward to. I've actually read a few of them already, which is kind of fun, and I will be reading more. I'm kind of in the middle of a reading vlog for you guys, I think. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but so on July 2nd, there are 3 books coming out. The first one is God of the Woods by Liz Moore, and I have her Long Bright River actually on my book of the month TBR. I just haven't gotten to it, and I've heard nothing but great things, but I read her previous book before that, and I can't remember what it's about, but what it's called. I cannot remember what it is called, but it is about code and kind of a wunderkind father, and he goes missing, dies. It was really good. So I really like her writing. And then The Undermining of Twyla and Frank, which is one of my most anticipated releases of the year, by Megan Bannon. She wrote The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, which I loved, I think last year, and I think more people should read it. It's a hidden gem, but this is just chef's kiss. I love this book. This is actually a later in life romance, and so they're both rangers in this kind of national park, but make it magical. That's kind of the rangers that I envision these people being, but in a magical world. And they're partners. They both have kids from prior marriages, and they've been partners forever. And of course something happens, and then they realize, okay, actually we kind of love each other, but miscommunication, being older in life, just different things make their relationship really hard to be. But I loved this, not as much as The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, but I did love this a lot. I really, really enjoyed it. It's super fun. There's dragons in it. She just writes a really fun romance, but with a light fantasy in the background. There's not a lot of world building, so if that intimidates you, this is not that. This is your typical kind of rom-com romance, contemporary romance, not rom-com as much, but there are some really funny things in this, but kind of your contemporary romance, but add some magic in it. And I don't know, I really did love that. And then finally is The Cliffs, and all I know about this one was that it was featured on the Modern Mrs. Darcy Summer Reading Guide, and it takes place in Maine, and there's a house that might be haunted, historical fiction, I don't know, but Maine and a haunted house just kind of do it for me. It also has some gothic vibes, I guess, and that usually works a lot for me. So those are on July 2nd. On July 9th, there's All This and More by Pang Shepard, and this is a choose your own adventure novel by the author of The Cartographers, which I really, really liked The Cartographers, and so I'm excited to see what this one is. I think it will be a really fun experience. And then Humor Me by Kat Shook. I have, if I'm being honest, I've started it and then I put it down as a not right now book. That's July 9th. July 30th is The Fiancé Dilemma by Elena Armas. This is the sequel to The Long Game. I have read this already and it was a solid 3 stars. It was really fun. The unrequited pining between the 2 main characters is so good. But how they get together, it grew on me over time. But I did, it's still that small community. I loved it and I gave it 3 stars. But I did really love the pining, the community I love. It's a fun one. It's a good one for summer. The Wedding People by Allison Espach. I just started this, and I think you need to read the trigger warnings first for anybody going into this. But this girl is down on her luck, divorced, kind of done with everything, so she rents a hotel room. And the problem is that this hotel, it's a wedding, and the bride for this wedding has everything planned to the T, and this character that shows up on her wedding weekend throws everything for a loop. That's kind of the gist of the book, but if you look up a spoiler, you'll understand. And then a nonfiction is Ruin Their Crops on the Ground. I think this is about like food and like how the American food system interweaves with like indigenous cultures here. All right, and then in August, we have on August 13th, I have Worst Case Scenario. I do not know anything about this. As well as I Need You to Read This by Jessa Maxwell. She wrote The Golden Spoon, which I really enjoyed. I had so much fun reading it last year, so this will be a fun one. And then A Great Marriage, which this was like, I've heard this is like literary, similar to like Lauren Groff, I feel like Barbara Kingsolver, authors like that. I don't know anything about it other than like I've just heard it's a hyped literary book. On August 20th, I have There Are Rivers in the Sky, which this was also on a Modern Mrs. Darcy reading guide. And I think it might have something to do with like the Epic of Gilgamesh, maybe in London, in Pakistan. I don't know. It sounded interesting. The Naturalist's Daughter, that author, it's Tay Cooper. I've read previous stuff by her and really liked it. So I think this is it's just on there because it's an author I've liked before. And then The Volcano Daughters. I don't remember the author's name, but again, this is one that just really intrigued me when I was scrolling through NetGalley, and then I've seen it on some hyped lists. So I think this is historical fiction, maybe with a dose of magical realism. On August 27th, we've got Given Our History, which is a romance, and then also Truly Madly Magically by Hazel Beck. I have loved the first 2 books in the series. I was approved for the first 2 books on NetGalley, and then I got denied for the 3rd one. So thank you to whoever that person was. But this is like the 3rd and final book in that series. This is romance with magic. I wouldn't say it's romantasy because it's got that like contemporary romance, but it's one of those that I'm like so excited for. I love that world. And it's kind of a Gilmore Girls magical town, but I love them. They're so fun for me. All right, and then in September, we have September 10th, I've got Somewhere Beyond the Sea, which is TJ Klune's book. Like, do I need to say anything else? And then So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. I loved Cackle by her. I haven't read anything else, but this one just kind of intrigues me because this one is a vampire horror book. I don't really think her books are that scary, but like she kind of writes in that vein. I really love Rachel Harrison. On September 17th is the Richard Osman book, which is We Solve Murders. I think that will be really fun. I haven't read the Thursday Murder Club, but this is his new standalone series, I think. So why not just start where he has a new series versus reading 5 books, which I know I need to read the Thursday Murder Clubs. I'm just not there yet. And then on the 24th, there's The Trouble with Inventing a Viscount by Vivian Lauret. She's just a historical romance author that has really worked for me. And then Graveyard Shift by ML Rio, who wrote We Were Villains, which I only read half of before I had to return it to the library. I would love to get back to it someday. I think this is actually a novella. So that could be good because it's like a quick read. But like I said, there's not a ton in this video that I'm like super excited for. These are all books that have been on my radar that I think will be really, really good. So that's for July, August, and September. And then I will do the last quarter closer to September. But thank you for watching this. I know it's been kind of a less great video because I'm losing my voice and the lighting's not great, but I am so grateful for all of you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everybody.